Thank you all for everyone who replied. I genuinely appreciate your help with this. We are Australian, so I will look into the Australian equivalent of education savings plans and other funds. I did try posting to the Ask Women forum, but it was immediately removed for being too personal. We are both young, 24, but we have been together for 5 years. We have wanted to have kids for a few years, so this is expected, and we are thrilled, nervous but thrilled. I'll send her this post. Thank you all. Sorry to inform you all, but we lost it. Story 1. Get this book, The Expectant Father. I've gone through several first-time dad books, and they all treat you like an idiot except this one. I found the majority of the information super helpful and interesting. My wife loved that I was as interested in what's happening to her and the baby as she was. Aside from the book, be attentive to her. Don't be afraid to ask her if there's anything you can do to help or make her feel more comfortable. If she's feeling nauseous, go out of your way to find things that will help. Don't even ask if she wants you to get it. Just research and pick some stuff up for her. Look up some prenatal massage techniques to help ease her discomfort. Better yet, look up professional massage places near you that offer prenatal massage. Ultimately, just putting in effort to help her and to prepare yourselves for this big change is going to go a long way. Congratulations. Story 2. Before she goes back to work, after the child goes to bed, always spend at least 5 minutes just talking to her. Being locked in the house with a newborn is very stressful, and the lack of human interaction can make postpartum depression a real challenge. Talk to her, have an adult conversation, and listen. Make an effort to attend doctor's appointments, take the child out, and give her a break. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. My first time holding a baby was in the operating room with my first son. You will see how fast you grow up and enjoy it. Story 3. While she is breastfeeding, pumping, or bottle feeding the baby, help her get set up by bringing the pump, adjusting her pillows, getting the baby, and prepping the bottle. Let her do her thing and then help her clean up and put it away. This will be exhausting, but one of the greatest things you can do, especially right after birth. She will need the help. While she is doing this, bring her something to drink and something small to eat like fresh fruit. The added hydration will help flow and keep her comfortable. Make sure she has time to take a long shower or Epsom salt bath while you care for the baby. Take her for a drive with the baby. Let them both sleep in the car if possible. Either way, get out for fresh air. Never, ever tell her she is anything but beautiful and amazing, no matter what she looks like or says she looks like. Never confirm it. Hormones make everything extra sensitive, and she can struggle with appearance pretty hard. Congratulations. Story 4. Dad of 4 here. Preemptively plan for supplies that are needed, and be active in jumping in and assisting with things you are able to do. There will be a period of time when you are pushed a bit away, and a lot of guys take that personally when they are used to being front and center. Embrace the support role. Do not demand anything of your partner, but give 110%. Be the first to change the diaper, jump up to wash bottles, and restock towels and blankets. Childbirth is exhausting on a level we will never understand. Now is the time to embrace that support role. Expect nothing back, and be totally okay with it. It could last longer than you think, but a good dad and partner is the rock the mom and baby can stand on. Be that and love it. As far as being a good dad in the future, I could write novels about what to do and what not to do. A lot of it you have to learn firsthand. You have to make some mistakes. My kids are in their preteen and high school years and are amazing, and I have to give my wife and me due credit for planting the right seeds and creating the right environment for them to grow in. Being a good dad is really about attentive support. It is having realistic expectations, but knowing it is your job to help them get there. It is about not trying to be the star of the show and letting them shine. This is a huge question, but if you remember to restock the diapers, take the baby for a few hours so mom can sleep, and rub her feet at night, you will be on the right path to being a quality dad. Story 5. Save your money. Take care of her. Let your families buy all the baby stuff. Get your things together. Figure out your finances. Get your drinking in check. Be ready to put your life on pause. Work on personal development such as your temper and your moods. Be prepared to put a lot of people before yourself. Story 6. One thing I can suggest is to pick up The Expectant Father. It's a good primer on pregnancy and the first few months. It takes a very practical approach to explaining what she's going to go through month by month, the baby's development, how to prepare a nursery, and more. It avoids the "wow, you're going to be a dad. That's crazy" tone that many try to take. In my experience, the biggest thing you can do is just listen to her, make note of minor annoyances, and address them for her. If a smell bothers her, remember that and avoid it. If she craves a food, stock it. If there's a minor discomfort you can solve with a new pillow or something, buy one. If she starts nesting, let her take the lead on that, but clear her time for it by taking care of any normal chores she usually does. Stuff like that. Pregnancy involves a lot of big changes and chronic discomforts that we just can't do anything about. But there are also a lot of day-to-day discomforts and annoyances we can alleviate to reduce stress. The more proactive you can be, the less she has to think about. It's not enough to just do what she asks. You have to look for those opportunities to help and take that mental load off to actually reduce stress. Story 7. Be very attentive to postpartum depression. I've known couples whose marriages were strained, and one even separated because of it. Mine went through a rough patch, but I wouldn't call it strained since we've moved past it. At the first signs, get it treated with counseling or antidepressants. Your partner may not be able to identify it herself. It's a can't see the forest for the trees kind of situation. Story 8. Just do it. Clean that room, cook dinner, do the shopping, later change the diapers, bathe the baby, etc. Don't wait for her to ask, or don't ask what needs to be done. You know what needs to be done, so do it. Story 9. I am a 23-year-old female and would consider my dad one of my best friends. Here is what he did to facilitate that. He let me learn by making my own mistakes. He never told me not to do something unless it was a life or death situation. Whether it was riding a bike a certain way, making my own rope swing, or making a bad impulse purchase, he let me learn through experience instead of through his control. He trusted me. I never got the overprotective dad vibe from him. He was kind to my boyfriends as he trusted my judgment. I went to Europe by myself when I was 19 with him on call whenever I needed him instead of helicopter parenting. I did some dangerous things, and he never stopped me but was always there for me if I needed him, while letting me take responsibility for my own decisions. I guess this kind of goes with my first point. He spent a lot of quality time with me and took interest in my interests. He was a parent chaperone on my elementary school field trips. He cooks with me, and whenever I wanted to try a new project or hobby, he would help me with it, along with inviting me to participate in his hobbies like photography and mead making. In fact, we just went stand-up paddle boarding the other day, and I also just called him for help on figuring out how to make sourdough. He never held anything against me. He never prescribed me gender roles. He encouraged and supported me in following my own career goals. He was patient and loved me unconditionally. Still does. Edit. Just realized this is the Ask Men subreddit. Sorry. Story 10. Go to everything. Get a GoPro and video everything. I'm doing this with my nephews because my dad did it with me and my sister. We always knew how proud he was of us. Sounds like your heart is in the right place. You'll be good. Story 11. Try to make sure you all get your own time. Draw her a bath while you do whatever. Get her a massage while you hang with your boys, etc. But always make time for her. For emotional and physical support. I usually make my lady dinner and then apply tummy butter on her belly. It helps prevent stretch marks and is soothing for her and the baby. Read up on fathering as much as you can, young man. Godspeed and good luck. Story 12. The fact that you are asking this question is already a sign that you will be a good partner and father. Two things will be most important: love and patience. It can be expected that pregnancy can cause mood swings or uncommon food cravings. After birth, she may also experience postpartum depression. Then there's the baby who requires a lot of attention and care. At times when you feel tired or overwhelmed, always remember love brought you there and exercise utmost patience. The happiness far outweighs the difficulties. Congratulations. Story 13. Don't peak too early. Steady and ongoing help for about 20 years or more will mean more for kids. Keep time for yourself. Fitness, hobbies, balance. Good for your energy and a good example for your kids. Doing is 100 times more important than telling. Story 14. Forget self-help books. Everyone I read was dead wrong. Most are written by people who don't have children, or by people who use their kids as lab rats. Not to mention every child is unique and you'll have a 1 in a million chance of getting the right advice. Here are a few good point earners. Get her a body pillow. Double cushion any chair she deems her favorite. Pick up the slack in the housekeeping. Get nice-looking joggers. Maternity clothes are a scam and, according to my wife, uncomfortable at best. Wrap a wet towel at her feet if she's feeling too hot. Keep a couple of blankets at hand if she's feeling cold. As strong as she might be, she'll need reassurance you still love her when the weight kicks in. So be there for her. Arguments will ensue due to her hormones being out of control towards the end. Defuse them immediately, don't argue back. Change diapers and don't leave it all to your partner. If your partner needs a nap, no matter how tired you are, your answer should always be, go on. I've got this. As for being a good dad, no one has the answer. My experience says it's all about patience. Do your best to resist the urge to shout when they misbehave, but be firm so they understand they have done something wrong. When they do misbehave, present light consequences, not punishments. Be playful and let them experiment, even if it means hours of cleaning later. Appreciate when they take initiative, whatever it may be. You'll make their day. My 5-year-old just yesterday told me I'm the best daddy in the world. So I must be doing something right. And we have another one on the way. Story 15. Take 100 pictures of her with the baby. As a mom, I can tell you my son has millions of pictures with every family member and friend, and maybe 3 of them are with me. Story 16. My wife and I are having our first child in November. One thing I kept suggesting to her was to take a bath. My theory was it would help take some of the weight off her hips. Well, she finally took one and felt fantastic afterward, and now she's having more. So baths are my input. Story 17. Have patience. Sleep when you can because you will not get a restful night for quite a while. Help any chance you can. Once the baby is either bottle-fed with pumped milk or on formula, take turns for night feedings. Talk to each other and be supportive and overall be a team. Story 18. Teach your kids the magic words. Ingrain in them so that please and thank you are a habit. Those 2 words will take them far in life. As far as supporting her, this is a partnership. Recognize there are things she has to do, and you find a way to make up the other 50%. Don't make the house and the child her responsibility. Learn how to do laundry. Split the household chores. I hate yard work. She likes it. She hates cooking. I menu plan, grocery shop, and make meals because I like it. Find a way to share. It will also be good for your child to see that balance in their parents' relationship. Story 19. Get married. Do not ever cheat. Be really, really good to each other all the time. Start early teaching your kid letters, sounds, numbers, addition, and subtraction. Make it part of the games you play. Story 20. Don't be rigid with the tips you gain from here or anywhere else. Every baby is different and every mother is different, so just accepting that you'll have to learn on the job is the best way to prepare and not to be too hard on yourself. Story 21. Avoid sticking to a plan. Things will always go unexpectedly, and be ready to have solutions for anything that may come up. Pile on supplies and never be in a position where you need something and cannot get it. Have at least 1 week's worth of diapers and food. Every childbirth, every child is different, and everyone has a different opinion on how to do things. If you ask for too much advice, you will end up with everything and its opposite, and you don't want that. Find one source of information that aligns with what you are going through and what you want to do, and stick to it. People will try to shame your partner into breastfeeding, while others will shame her for not breastfeeding. It's her call to make, and be 100% supportive of her decision. Shield her from outside negative attitudes. Breastfeeding, if she decides to go that way, is incredibly difficult, yet it is presented as the most natural thing to do. It is not. She will struggle. A lot. And there is not much you can do about it, except ensure she has a safe place to do so. You will find that you cannot help with some of the most difficult tasks, including breastfeeding and overcoming postpartum challenges. It is up to you to do everything else. Everything you can do to make her life easier, you do so she can focus on things only she can do. Find support. Grandparents are the most precious people you can have, supported by a couple of friends who have young kids as well. Midwives often provide more valuable advice than gynecologists. I was told that over half of couples break up in the first year after having their first child, even when the pregnancy was wanted by both parents. You may not want to be one of those. Be ready for really tough times. Be ready to cry, whether from joy, despair, or exhaustion. Reevaluate your life priorities and be there for your child. Share the meals, the playtime, and the arguments. Story 22. A few things. 1. The app for the Wonder Weeks saved me. There is a book, but the app is much more accessible. Your baby will have periods where, seemingly for no reason, they scream, refuse to sleep, and are generally difficult for about 2 to 3 days. Then they sleep for 2 days straight. In reality, parts of their brains are developing, and they're suddenly given new abilities which must be scary. These changes, such as the ability to focus more than 6 inches away, understanding object permanence, and recognizing patterns, all happen around the same time for every child. The app not only explains why they're having a difficult few days, but reminds you that it will end and advises you on new abilities they have that you can interact with. 2. Our National Childbirth Trust Group spent half a session covering a scenario where a dad came back from an exhausting and emotionally draining day at work to find mom sitting in a messy house, unwashed with the baby soundly asleep, eating chocolate cake in her pajamas while watching TV. It covered both sides, explaining how the mom had had a torrid day with the baby vomiting all day and having just gone to sleep, and she hadn't even been able to eat all day. It also explained that dad had depression due to working and missing out and exercised poor judgment exacerbated by lack of sleep. The moral is to remember how hard it is and give each other a break. I remembered this story often in the first year, and it reminded me to step back, de-escalate, and be more aware of my own feelings. 3. Only 30% of new dads in the United Kingdom are able to take official paternity leave and get a maximum of 2 weeks. In my situation, due to strict rules about men on the labor ward, I was ejected from the ward an hour after my wife gave birth and was only allowed to see my daughter between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. for the first 5 days. Essentially, after 8 days with my new daughter, I was back to full-time work. My employer did not provide any graces, even criticizing me for being a new father. Despite our daughter being a poor sleeper, I was under pressure in a high-stress, high-aggression role. Be kind to yourself. 4. As a man, you're often reminded of sexism against women, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist and needs improvement. However, in the United Kingdom, it's surprising and sad how aggressively anti-dad at least my experience was, and that of my stay-at-home dad friends. Most groups for the first 2 years were specifically named Mom and groups, and we were not welcome. Events were named things like Mom to Mom Sale, and a lot of support seemed aimed at moms. Even at events not named for moms, I was made to feel unwelcome. I would go as far as to say, even though she's now 6, I'm only now starting to get fewer strange looks when taking her to birthday parties or similar. It has meant I needed to build my own support network, find my own activities, and support my bonding time. Researching and finding dad-friendly ideas, events, and building your support network is something you can start now.